also going to be using Clubhouse as like the filler.
Well, that's I don't really think much about that question because I'm more interested in if what we're doing is a good idea or not, rather than looking backwards. You very well could be right. That's the way it would be looked at. And
It's a creative movie. I also read the ingredients. It was like, excuse me, if you consume that shit, you will turn fat and very estrogenitis as a dude. Do not do it.
So bad. It tastes really bad.
Yeah, don't do that shit.
I mean, whenever I try up any of the one I try, it's really bad.
Those that speak out against your message. Right? So like Turning Point wouldn't have a platform if Bunny wasn't the person. Like, can you agree to that?
Okay, so this is where I'm like getting a little confused because I came in kind of like mid-conversation, so I don't really know how Turning Point is.
Of hypersense, right? That why you use there in that scenario. What that story is doing, and those are ritual structures, are encoding those systems of knowledge.
So there is a constant refrain of the asuras and all that, right? So it kind
You know, what's an asura? An asura is your guru. Thing that is your obstacle. It's your pratya. It's your varuna. It's the bearer of that which is the fortress that you can't penetrate. And it's back. This is the kind of imagery with asura. The word astra, right, comes from that.
So isn't the psychological this thing?
But that's what the question is. What do you mean psychological? So, for example, when hailstorm falls on the earth, right, is that a psychological in your view? No. Well, it should be. It is to me.
What is this, like the glossary show? Are you guys like reading from the glossary of some like Hindu book or something? What are you guys reading here? That's called it.
And they were like, oh,
Kick me! It's called a joke.
did you know him?
You can't take a joke.
This guy's atheist.
So tough.
Yeah, I know that, but that's why I was interfering. I wouldn't interfere otherwise.
Okay,
So
no
I'm
problem.
sorry that I interfered. But why don't say put a finger in the electrical? Why say put your dick? That is insane when you're talking about a toddler. That's just my opinion, and you can go on to other people if you want to. That was just why I interrupted, and I wanted
How
to
long have
explain myself.
How long have you been an atheist?
I've been an atheist all my life.
Wow, from a young age, from the time you
From a
could
very
think
young
about God. But that's very interesting. Thanks, I appreciate you. Thanks for explaining your.
That was the only reason I was interfering. So I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
So much. All right, hey, great to see you. Let's go to Adi. Adi, welcome to the stage. Would you like a fresh five? Tell us what's on your mind, my friend. Yeah, go ahead, Les. I'll give you Adi 1 second. I'm going to give Les a minute to respond, and then we'll go to Adi. Go ahead. You're making a good point, and a finger would have been a much better analogy. Thank you.
Well, thank you for saying that. Thank you. I really thank you for it.
Look at all this civil discourse and exchange. I love it. Adi, let's go to you, my friend. Let's give you your fresh five. What would you like to talk about?
Oh, I can change the topic to whatever I want.
You can talk about anything. You have 5 minutes to talk about anything you want. Up to
I don't
5
need
minutes.
5 minutes. I'll just take 2 minutes, okay?
Okay.
So, what really interests me is nothing to do with humans, not politics, countries, not sports, not entertainment, not movies. What I like is the whole universe out there. And that's the only thing that really interests me, is knowing more about the universe that we live in, not just the world. So something like neutron stars or black holes that are spiraling in on each other, or other exotic dense objects. That's the stuff that really attracts me and speaks to me. So all this other stuff just doesn't matter to me. That's all. I yield my time.
Well, thank you for sharing it. I love that you love the universe, my friend. Keep being curious and exploring it. Let's go to my dear friend, candidate John Kitover, running for U.S. Congress in the great state of Illinois. John, would you like a fresh five?
I would love a fresh five. I would like to read the poem Hymn to Apollo. It's less than 3 minutes, but I know sometimes if I read...
We have a rule. Uncle Steve has a rule. For reading, we only do 60 seconds of reading.
Yeah,
so
remember.
You can comment and summarize. So you can read for 60 seconds and then summarize. I want you to pick a portion of the poem.
Okay.
And then you can expound and tell us what it is.
60 seconds is the first page. So let me read the first page. This is a meditation. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. This is called the Hymn to Apollo. God of the golden face and fiery forehead, Lord of the lion's house of strength, exalted in the ram's horns, O ruler of the vaulted heavenly hollow, send out thy rays majestic in the torrid light of thy song. Thy countenance most splendid, bend to the suppliant on his face extended. Hear me, Apollo. Let thy fierce fingers sweep the lair forgotten. Recall the ancient glory of thy chanted music that thrilled the hearts of men and haunted life to adore thee. Cleanse thou our marketplaces misbegotten, fire in my heart and music to my pain. Lend that my song bow past the empyrean, Phoebus before thee. All the old worship in this land is broken, yet on my altar burns the ancient censer, frankincense, saffron, galbanum intensa, ornaments glisten, robes of thy color bind me for thy token. My voice is fuller in thine adoration. Thine image holds its God-appointed station. Lycian, listen! My prayers more eloquent than olden chants, long since grown dumb on the soft, forgetful airs. My lips are loud to herald thee, my prayers keener to follow. I do aspire as thy long sunbeam slants upon thy crown. I do aspire to thee as no man yet. I am in ecstasy. Hear me, Apollo!
Beautiful. Candidate, what does that mean to you, and how is it shaping your candidacy for the U.S. House of Representatives?
Well, this is a magical poem from Aleister Crowley. And so I am using poetry to attack and fight and crush Darren LaHood, my opponent, because, you know, it's a question of communication. How do I confirm to the voters that I have credibility? Well, I think if you can read effectively, clearly, intelligently, you can be a candidate yourself. And unfortunately, a lot of the people in Congress today are not reading these massive 30,000-page omnibus bills. They just keep passing multi-trillion-dollar HR acts. So I'm trying to use poetry to intelligently defeat Darren LaHood in the 16th District of Illinois.
Excellent. How's it going? I mean, how is the campaign going? Do you feel like you're making some headway? I mean, I know you're a dark horse, an upstart insurgent campaign, but how is the work on the ground going?
Well, we've already achieved the threshold to get on the ballot for March 17th. We're at 1,130 petition signatures. We only need about 700. October 27th, 28th, I'm driving down to Springfield to deposit the petitions. They have a horseshoe ceremony in Springfield, Illinois. And this campaign was funded by Clubhouse users. We raised over $600. We still have $340 left in the campaign account. And I'm very optimistic, and I do believe we will be on that March 17th ballot. I would say there's a small chance that we beat Darren LaHood because he does have $10 million to run major advertising and, you know, reconnect with all the voters in their consciousness. I'm that dark horse candidate who's using social media, YouTube, Clubhouse, X Spaces, Instagram, to try to connect with as many 16th District voters as possible to get them to vote for me.
You're like an Illinois Midwestern Mamdani. I love it, buddy. It's keep.
Yeah, but I'm the exact opposite of Mamdani.
Just a clarifying question, so you're not on the ballot yet. Is that correct? Because
some people on Clubhouse have said you're on the ballot, but you're not currently there yet. Is that correct?
No, we won't know until about October 28th.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
We won't know until October 28th or early November because.
So you're not on the ballot yet. Thank you.
Correct. We have enough signatures to get on the ballot, but no one has actually gotten on the ballot yet because the ballots aren't printed, and there's been no challenges yet. That doesn't happen for another month.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Well, we wish you luck, and this is exciting to have an upstart insurgent candidate on our show. And oh my gosh, speaking of wonderful, wonderful people, coming off of her birthday, Jane Rosenzweig, the great Jane Rosenzweig, one of the great parallel parkers of the universe and one of the loveliest souls on this app. Jane, would you like a fresh five?
Thank you. Thank you, Scott. Violet, thanks for inviting me up. I thought I'd just quickly address a fair question in the chat. Is that okay, mods?
Of course. I'm always welcome to address the chat, yeah.
I respect the structure. Candidate John Kitover, it's about you. The question is, who would give money to him? And I would like to say that I'm one of them, Joyce. I gave $18 because I like what I see in a young person taking action. And that's the main reason. I'm ideologically opposed to everything John is fighting for. However, I believe in the democratic process. And also, maybe he'll cause a little chaos. You gave me this one, Scott, in the Republican race. And I'm very okay with that. But mostly out of just reaching across to a human I don't agree with. And $18, as some of you know, has some significance for Jews of all types, like cultural ones like me. To life, John.
But Jane, there's no way that we're 100% ideologically opposed on everything. That's an all or nothing statement, which is a cognitive distortion disorder.
You're right, John. Many things we are opposed on. Like I'm a liberal Democrat. Let's just leave it at that. Because as a human, we are one.
Well, Jane, it's very exciting that you're taking part in this upstart insurgent campaign, sowing a little chaos, being a little agent of chaos, like Cora is our agent of chaos. I love it, Jane. I think it's fantastic, and I defend your right to mix it up a little bit. I think it's great, and I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled, that you're taking part in the democratic process. We love it.
My biggest donors are the biggest liberals on this app, FYI. So I do connect with liberals.
Yes. All right, let's go over to, is there anything else, Jane, or is that good? Are you good?
I am good.
Excellent. My dear friend, she's an opinion maker and a heartbreaker here on the app. Dr. Francine, would you like a fresh five? Coming to us from the sunny state of Arizona. Dr. Francine, oh, there you are.
I need a fresh. I'll say that I love what changes. And I love the fact that she contributed money to the cause. So, I mean, the fact that things need to be shaken up is so obvious. I think it's so cool that it happens here on Clubhouse. It makes me happy. It really makes me, and it's hard to make me happy this month because of him. But Jane, that is so. That's exactly the kind of open-mindedness that people need.
I love it, Dr. Francine. Do you have any questions for the candidate, Dr. Francine, while you've got him on stage?
No, not really, because I don't want to
Center him.
So, and this is not a good speak, in real information about a state I don't live in and a district I don't live in. I like the fact that he is a young person participating in the democratic process.
I love it, Dr. Francine, thanks so much for being on the stage. And speaking of politics, I just want to play a little clip from the West Wing. Tariffs have been a big issue and trade and our role in the world and how trade impacts that. This is from the West Wing. Toby Ziegler explaining the benefits of free trade. Of course, he's played by Richard.
Okay, this is JohnForCongress.com. I'm on. Go to JohnForCongress.com. Thanks, everybody.
Right, that's the platform. Great fees. That's a free trade. Food is cheap. Yes. Food is cheaper. Clothes are cheaper. Steel is cheaper. Cars are cheaper. Phone service is cheaper. You feel me? Building where I live here. That's because I'm a speech writer and I know how to make a point. Tell me. The lowest prices and raises income. So that it lowers the raises there.
Yes.
Both sides of this tension. We did repetition. We did floating opposites. And now you end with the one that's not like the others. Ready? Free trade stops wars. And that's it. Free trade stops wars. And we figure out a way to fix the rest. One world, one peace. I'm sure you've seen that on a sign for someone.
God, Toby. Wouldn't it be great if there was someone around here with communication skills who could go in there and tell them that?
There it is, the great Toby Ziegler explaining the benefits of free trade. Lowers prices, raises salaries, and it stops wars, friends. Free trade is a great thing that has changed the planet and, is under some contestation and attack in this current political climate. But hey, this is a disruptive political age. Uncle Steve, are you back from doing your?
Can you hear me okay? Yeah.
You are coming in line. What did you do on your break? Did you have a mimosa? Did you smoke a cigarette? Take a
I'm
drive?
smoking cigarettes throughout the show. But I've made some coffee, and yes, I did make a mimosa. Thank you for riding the ship. It's been a long while since we've had John Kitover on the stage. I've got a gift for Mr. Kitover, and then I'm going to talk about Mr. Kitover after the gift.
You're gonna roast me?
In the beginning, I think it's important to note what subjects we haven't discussed. We completely ignored the fact that this is a society divided by fear, hatred, and violence. And until we talk about just what this society really is, then I don't know how we're going to change it. For example, we haven't discussed the rot that destroys our cities. We have all the resources we need to check it, and we don't use them. And we haven't discussed why not. We haven't discussed race in this country. We haven't discussed poverty. In short, we haven't discussed any of the sicknesses that may yet send this country up in flames. And we better do it. We better get it out in the open and confront it before it's too late.
That is Robert Redford from the movie The Candidate over 50 years ago. Now, I've known John Kitover pretty much ever since I've been on Clubhouse for the past couple of years. I have always said on this show that anybody, I haven't said including him, but anybody is welcome. Whether I agree with them, I disagree with them, I like them, I don't like them, to come on the show and get their fresh five as just evidence. I put my money where my mouth is, and Kitover is welcome to come on the stage and get his fresh five anytime he wants. Now, that being said, would I donate a single dollar to his campaign? No. Do I like him? No. And I'll tell you why. One reason is I don't live in Illinois. Two, Kitover has, minimum 50, a different 100 profiles on Clubhouse. He comes on constantly in the past couple of years with different monikers, different voices, talks about stuff that, quite frankly, I think is off the rails.
On the train tracks? Or a roller coaster, Steve?
I can't believe a single word he says, although I say the same thing about Donald Trump. And as
much as I
Uncle Steve's come to Jesus moment.
With the people that have donated to his campaign because, quote, they like people that want to shake up the system.
Shake it up. We're gonna shake it up. We're gonna lied. He's still holding a grudge about that venture capital money.
Why, if I was in his district, I would never vote for him.
He would vote for Darren LaHood versus this guy. That's why my campaign slogan is vote John. It's better than nothing.
First thing in politics is you have to get people to like you. And
we're trying, Uncle Steve.
Apparently, a lot of people like Donald Trump, but unfortunately, a lot of people are afraid of Donald Trump. People that say Donald Trump is an idiot, Donald Trump is stupid, they have blinders on, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Donald Trump has pretty much gotten everything that he wanted to do. Take a look at Project 2025, and we were notified of that in advance before Donald Trump won the election. And when Donald Trump was asked, do you know about 20? No, I never read it. Look at how much of Project 2025 has been implemented. In my humble opinion, and I never read it word for word, it basically states that we want to make the administrative branch stronger than the legislative and the judicial branch. And Donald Trump has pushed the limits to the extreme just to show us how strong that administrative branch can be. If I was in Kitover's voting district, I would not only not vote him, but I would probably go on a crusade for people and emphasize for people not to vote for him because he's not trustworthy. I can't believe him. And if he were to get elected, which I seriously doubt, who knows what he would do. And that being said, since I purposely picked on him, I'm going to give him a fresh 5 to respond to what I just said.
Yeah, thanks, Uncle Steve.
I'd like to add to that response, from that video that I put in the chat, it's a 26-minute video that he posted about 3 days ago for his campaign. Explain it. It's just a man walking on a treadmill. How was that for you when I ran for Congress?
And right now, and everybody will get a chance to respond. I want to give candidate Kitover a fresh 5, and he can say anything he wants.
Yeah, thanks, Uncle Steve. Thanks for having me here on your show. You really do put together a very professional show. Let me answer JCC's question first about being on a treadmill. Yes, I record myself doing yoga, and I do record myself on the treadmill at the gym. I'm tracking what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to work on my cardio and my strength. As a congressperson, as a leader, you shouldn't just tell people what you're going to do. You should show them what you're doing and encourage them through leadership and setting the example of what everybody else should be doing, which is working out and not pumping yourself full of the next set of mRNA spike proteins and boosters and flu shots. Go to the gym, everybody. Now, going back to what Steve was talking about, Steve has a grudge against me because I had the wild dream that Steve was so successful in what he was doing on this app that we could sell his show to a venture capital firm looking to buy a library catalog. I worked on it. It didn't work out. But Steve puts together, in my opinion, the best shows, his mod squad, because it is the consortium or cornucopia of people that come together, which is what makes great rooms on Clubhouse. There's no individual or just a few characters. Like Steve is essentially a director of a theatrical production, and he's very successful at it. Now, why voters should vote for me versus Darren LaHood is because I want to defund the big beautiful bill, which gives over $400 billion a year in tax credits to Apple, Microsoft, Google, etc. I also want to propose and pass a balanced budget act. The amazing thing about AI is drafting these HR acts takes 60 seconds. And Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and many other libertarian-leaning or fiscally conservative Republicans believe that we are digging a debt grave of this country. You can expand the debt and expand the money supply, you are expanding our liabilities and our taxes for we the people. And if you can expand a thing, you can rapidly implode a thing. So I am worried about the future of America, as I know many of you are. And I am primarily worried because of our fiscal irresponsibility, our borrowing, our spending, and our taxing. That's my position.
Because he's not trustworthy. Thank you very much. And we got to give props where props are due. You weren't here in the first hour, but for those of you that weren't here in the first hour, replays are on. We had a gentleman came on with the moniker of, or the name of Jesus, and he made a couple of statements. And then when I questioned, I didn't attack him as nearly as much as I just, and I think logically, but maybe some of you disagree, attack Kitover. He couldn't respond. He came back with epithets, if I said that right, and he came back with accusations. He came back with bullshit. He wouldn't answer my questions. Whereas John, I completely said what I don't like about him, and he responded in a coherent, professional manner. Got to give him props for that. So John, thank you very much, and you're more than encouraged to stay on stage and get a closing thought at the time. If you're in the audience and you want to come up, you are encouraged to do so, because as it gets closer to the top of the hour, it will be next to impossible to do that. And if you want to come up, but you don't know what you want to talk about, this is what I refer to as the best 2 minutes on Clubhouse.
News the explosion, the search for the missing right now. The images coming in, the horrific explosion at a manufacturing plant. Multiple workers unaccounted for at this hour. Debris landing in yards throughout the community. The blast rattling homes miles away, and we're on the scene tonight. Also breaking, massive firings now underway. Day 10 of the government shutdown. President Trump tonight making good on his threat to fire federal workers and what we know so far. Tonight, a major storm now set to hit. We're tracking what could become the first nor'easter of the season. Either way, the system set to hit the Carolinas right after New York City and Boston. Winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour or more. Lee Goldberg has the forecast. Tonight, the 72-hour window has begun. The world now waiting for the return of the remaining hostages held by Hamas.
And everybody will get a chance to respond by wanting to give candidate Kitover a fresh thought, and then he can say anything he wants.
Yeah, thanks, Uncle Steve. Thanks for having me here on your show. You really do put together a very professional show. Let me answer JCC's question first about being on the treadmill. Yes, I record myself doing yoga, and I do record myself on the treadmill at the gym. I'm tracking what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to work on my cardio, my strength. As a congressperson, as a leader, you shouldn't just tell people what you're going to do. You should show them what you're doing and encourage them through leadership and setting the example of what everybody else should be doing, which is working out. And not pumping yourself full of the next set of mRNA spike proteins and boosters and flu shots. Go to the gym, everybody. Now, going back to what Steve was talking about, Steve has a grudge against me because I had the wild dream that Steve was so successful in what he was doing on this app that we could sell his show to a venture capital firm looking to buy a library catalog.
If you're on stage and you would like to contribute at this time, please.
I worked on it. It didn't work out.
20 minutes
But
of the show.
Steve puts together, in my opinion, the best shows. His Mod Squad, it is the consortium or cornucopia of people that come together. Great rooms on Clubhouse. There's no individual or just a few characters. Like Steve is essentially a director of a theatrical production, and he's very successful at it. Now, why voters should vote for me versus Darren LaHood is because I want to defund the big beautiful bill, which gives over
I do, Steve. Sorry, I couldn't get
There's
to
no need to apologize. Go ahead,
your tax credits. Microsoft.
I actually wanted
I also want to
because he
propose
was
and
in the
pass
room
the
talking
balanced
about
budget
artificial
act.
intelligence.
The amazing thing about AI is drafting these HR acts takes 60 seconds. And Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and many other libertarian, leaning, or fiscally conservative Republicans believe that we are digging
platform makes a difference to what you're getting. I think it's a really cool way to express myself. I'm not saying to be a musician, but
you can
people
close things.
that are making songs sound odd,
You are. And I am primarily
I thought he might be interested because a while back you mentioned that band that got called out for pretending to be real, but they were AI. So I'll always identify it as an AI song, but it really does make a difference
This is
to
a good
pay
clip
for
with
it
Steve.
if you want to use that service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've been listening to a lot of AI remakes of songs, taking like AI metal songs and making them like a soul beat and soul lyrics and a soul vocalist. And then just recently I watched a metal version of Eminem's "Lose Yourself," and I tell you what, it's quite entertaining with this AI to do with music. It's pretty cool. However, you listen closely intently, you can tell that it's not a real instrument making the sound. So it's just a
respond to what I just said.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve.
Response like video.
Go ahead.
26-minute video that he posted about 3 days
I'm
ago for
concerned
his
that
campaign.
people are going to
man walking down the track.
AI pseudo actress.
I heard about that. Go ahead. Yeah.
So training on, basically using other people's creative work and their likeness
We are reading.
without compensation. It's basically turns people that used to get compensation for doing things that people were interested in, and now there's just no money in it. That's what's happened to musicians too, and it's sort of like the old days where you had blues musicians that were said, "I'll give you a few dollars to talk into this box," and then their music was, being used whereas they weren't getting much compensation at all. So it's a concern of mine, and we have to watch out for that. And I guess some sort of micropayments thing, or I'm not sure what, but if you're using other people's work, they should get compensated.
Would anybody else like to contribute?
Yes.
Please do.
There's two things. Google does have something like this where they track every single musician and they do compensate them, and the original authors can do copy strike against the videos. And when it comes to AI, what JCC was saying.
Well, before we get to AI and JCC, you said Google compensates them. How much does Google pay? How does Google compensate them?
They track your
Because I'm not aware that Google compensates. I'm not aware that Google compensates anybody.
there is a thing that
I know that Google does a lot of advertising and make people pay. A lot of people advertise on Google and do a pay-per-click, but I'm not aware that Google compensates anybody.
Well, could I answer that?
Yeah, please do.
Sure. So what they do is they compensate, as Adi said, they tell the owner of the music,
original copyright owners, yes.
yeah, the copyright owner, this is being used, and you can either have it taken down, or if you want, you can get the advertising money from it.
Really, are you? Hold on. Hello, hold on. Are you aware of Google paying anybody a single dime as for compensation?
Yes, the money that the share of the advertising that normally go to whoever posts the
Original copy. Yes. That
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to back channel me this. I'm gonna ask you to back channel me this information because I'm not aware that Google pays anybody anything.
well, Google is no money out of. What does Google care? They're still getting the money, their share of the money for the
The
advertising.
statement was made that Google compensates the artists, and I said I'm not aware that Google pays anybody anything.
Well,
It's
let
okay.
me.
You need to inform them that your clip is going to go viral. And if you can't inform that, then they don't compensate you because they also don't make.
Are you saying that Google compensates the artist by information or by money?
You can.
Money. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you to please send me a back channel, send me a private message where it states that Google pays anybody anything.
And Steve, I just wanted to clarify that I myself am not modifying existing works of people. How Suno works is that it generates what are technically original songs, and the AI uses my input for style and lyrics.
Right.
But yeah, I'm not modifying other people's work myself. I just wanted to put that out.
Absolutely, no problem. We're getting close to the end of the show in 13 minutes. Would anybody else like to contribute anything? Okay, well, tell you what, let's see if I judge my timing right. I'm going to play a little something from Saturday Night Live last night, go about 3 minutes, and then we'll go to closing thoughts and burning desires. This is what's called 13-pound baby joke-off. Hold on a second. Just a second, and here we go.
A woman in Tennessee broke a record after giving birth to a 13-pound baby. It's the first baby ever bust out saying, "Oh yeah."
Well, come to my house. Come to my house and we'll do some yoga. Urban coffee. And come to my house, we'll do some yoga, coffee, and then we'll go to come to my house and we'll do some yoga and coffee, and then we'll go to Earl's Brew and cook for her.
Okay, I think we all know the rules. We're not. One more time, I'll just set it up for us. A woman in Tennessee broke a hospital record after giving birth to a 13-pound baby and go.
Come to my house and we'll do some yoga and coffee, and we'll go to Earl's Brew and cook for her.
The woman gave birth to a 13-pound baby. Damn, did she give birth to it or did it drive out? It's a fun fact. The second the baby was out, the woman sits around the room like a white balloon.
They don't have breakfast yet.
A woman gave birth to a 13-pound baby. The baby's nickname is Magician because it basically sawed his mother in half. Look at it down. A woman in Tennessee broke a hospital record after giving birth to a 13-pound baby, and then she broke off her husband's penis to make sure it never happened again. A woman in Tennessee gave birth to a 13-pound baby. The doctor said, "It's a boy."
There's a good photo spot that was down there. You should take some photos and videos. they wanted to talk about. That being said, show closes in 10 minutes. It's now time for closing thoughts and burning desires. Candidate Kitover, you have a minute or two to say goodbye, whatever you want. Yeah, thanks. I just love to read another poem because you can read anything for 60 seconds, no problem. I've spent many years on this app, as many as you have, or everyone here has been here long, and I just like the concept of the book club where we read books to each other because a lot of our opinions, I feel like, aren't getting us anywhere. But this is called Hymn to Pan. I hope this helps everyone here open their third eye and make their day that much greater. This is the poem. It's a meditation. So take the deepest breath of the day, everybody. Hold it for 10 seconds. I am numb with the lonely lust of devildom. Thrust the sword through the galling fetter. All devourer, all begetter, giving me the sign of the open eye and the token erect of thorny thigh. A word of madness and mystery. Oh, Pan, eo Pan, eo Pan, eo Pan, 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 I am a man. Do as thou wilt as a great God can, oh Pan, eo Pan, eo Pan, eo Pan, Pan. I'm awake in the grip of the snake. The eagle slashes with beak and claw. The gods withdraw. The greatest cameo Pan. I am born to death on the horn of the unicorn. I am Pan, eo Pan, 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 Pan. I am thy mate, I am thy man. Go to thy flock, I am gold, I am God. Flesh to thy bone, flower to thy rod. With hoofs of steel I race on the rocks through solstice, stubborn to equinox. And I rave and I rape, and I rip and I rend, everlasting, world without end. Mannequin, maiden, maned man, in the might of Pan. Eo Pan, 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 eo Pan. Thank you, candidate Kitover, first class escort to the VIP, and I will say one thing positive. He knows how to respect the rules. And got to give him props for that as well. Let's go to Alex. Alex, would you like to say goodbye?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
There's something I saw yesterday. I was looking for the link so you could put it up, but it was by the Lincoln Project, Rick Wilson, and he was talking about how to stay peaceful, how to demonstrate, how to respond when the authoritarian takeover advances. And he was John McCain's campaign advisor at one time. He's a very well-educated, level-headed guy, but he's alarmed, and he was giving some good advice, and I believe it was just under, you can Google Rick Wilson, Lincoln Project Insurrection. And I think we have some pretty serious problems as we're threatened to be invaded by federalized National Guard and war-fighting American troops in our cities, and it's pretty daunting. And we were already having people interfered with just going into court for immigration hearings and things like that. And I have family that they're a little worried about traveling out of the country even though they have a green card, because they won't be able to get back in maybe because of other behaviors of the government. And I just think we're really seeing some advancement of the sort of Viktor Orban style, piece by piece by piece, takeover of democracy, turning it into autocracy that is going pretty quickly. So if you get a chance, Lincoln Project, Rick Wilson, Insurrection was the piece, and it was published either yesterday or the day before. Thanks.
Thank you very much. First class escort to the VIP. Let's go to Addie. Addie, would you like to say goodbye?
Yes, thank you very much. I'll just tell you directly how likes lead to like the understanding of how to manipulate populations. Okay, like Lady Gaga are more extroverts. Those who, the men who like cosmetic brands such as NSC, this can help you engineer elections. Okay, this is what Hope did with Obama, and this is what Trump is doing continuously. And when it comes to AI, it cannot do things like exoplanets or dinosaurs. It cannot do very specific things that you know how it looks. And that's a shortcoming that needs to be addressed. Thank you, that's all.
Thank you. First class escort to the VIP. Once you've said that, you've said it all. Frank, would you like to say goodbye? Frank going once. Frank going twice. Okay, Frank's going to get a stretcher down the red carpet to the VIP. And now we go to the mods who don't get escorts to the VIP. They have to stay on stage and do the heavy lifting. JCC, would you like to say goodbye? JCC, would you like to say goodbye? We'll come back to JCC. Violet, would you like to say goodbye? Violet.
Yes, I would. Great show today, Steve. I hope everybody has a safe and happy weekend. And if you guys are interested, I could share one of my songs in the back chat. From
You can post anything in the group chat you want, sweetheart.
I know, but I always feel like I'm forcing homework on my friends when I want them to see one of my artistic projects.
Well, why don't you just call it optional extra credit rather than
There we go. Optional extra credit. Great to
Fine,
be
but
with
it's
you.
extra credit. Fresh five. Respond to what I just said.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Add to that response, like that video that I put in the chat. It's a 26-minute video that he posted about 3 days ago for his campaign. Explain
Now let's switch.
walking on a treadmill. How was that? Waiting for Congress.
And now, come on, everybody should chance respond. I wanted to give Kitover Kitover a fresh five, and he can say anything he wants.
Yeah, thanks, Uncle Steve. Thanks for having me here on your show. You really do put together a very professional show. Let me answer JCC's question first about being on the treadmill. Yes, I record myself doing yoga, and I do record myself on the treadmill at the gym. I'm tracking what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay healthy. I'm trying to work on my cardio, my strength. As a congressperson, as a leader, you should just tell people what you're going to do. You should show them what you're doing and encourage them through leadership and setting the example of what everybody else should be doing, which is working out, not pumping yourself full of the next set of mRNA spike proteins and boosters and flu shots. Go to the gym, everybody. Steve has a grudge against me because I had the wild dream that Steve was so successful in what he was doing on this app that we could sell his show to a venture capital firm looking to buy a library catalog. I worked on it. It didn't work out. But Steve puts together, in my opinion, the best shows, his Mod Squad, because it is the consortium or cornucopia of people that come together, which is what makes great rooms on Clubhouse. There's no individual or just a few characters. Like Steve is essentially a director of a theatrical production, and he's very successful at it. Now, why voters should vote for me versus Darren LaHood is because I want to defund the big beautiful bill, which gives over $400 billion a year in tax credits to Apple, Microsoft, Google, etc. I also want to propose a balanced budget act. The amazing thing about AI is drafting these HR acts takes 60 seconds, and Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and many other libertarian-leaning or fiscally conservative Republicans believe that we are digging a debt grave of this That's my position.
Because he's not trustworthy, I can't.
Ooh, okay, we're gonna do an Uncle Steve after party room. Okay, this is called Uncle Steve After Party Room as Theist.
That's the terminator.
With Paul and the apostles. Right? Even when you go to the book.
These fucking
Oh,
stupid
okay,
ass songs,
this
and
one's
they
good.
die from poverty. You're gonna raise in poverty, you're gonna die in poverty, nigga. You're stupid as fuck. Nigga, would you like to apologize to
Okay, I want to respond to him first. Hang on one second, please. So, Fadi just lied to you. I used AI to look it up. The Arab.
You guys dropped down shape.
Well, he did the same to me. The Arab guy, he can come up in a minute.
Right. So we're gonna talk about this again.
This is
I have no lies.
Yeah.
I'm moving you down because you're interrupting, and you're the one who's doing the things that are getting you moved down. Shape didn't interrupt you. All right, he didn't interrupt you. You interrupted him every single time. So I want you to respond, but this whole thing, like, just chill out.
I can reconcile the two statements. Go ahead. I committed a very severe infraction. I'm from the room. I'm self-reporting. You can remove me as a mod, but I did do that.
No.
Shape, the Alex, would you like to say goodbye? Reference was to create essentially an Arab state that's a geography called Palestine. So go to the geography called the Alps or Sierra Nevadas. They just wanted an Arab state, not split a Jewish state, an Arab state, just an Arab state.
Yes, that's
What he was referring to was a Palestinian state, i.e., an Arab state with for the quote Palestinian people. Those two statements stand alone and can be reconciled by what I just said. I don't think so. What Norm was saying was that the Palestinians never wanted the Arabs there wanted one. The Palestinians were quoted created as a people. No, not Arabs that live in the not Arabs that live within the Palestinian mandates, but people who identify themselves as Palestinian. And that's the fine line. No. Norm makes this broader claim because I've heard him say it before and say it in a very manipulative.
Damn, they kicked me from the room. They kicked me from the room.
Okay, this is Sunday poetry.
Not like it matters. Okay, we're gonna do our poetry chat. Okay, this is called Kick from the Jewish Palestinian Debate Room. This is John. George. I just got kicked from the Jewish Palestinian debate room. No way.
Makes me proud. Rest assured, you will be under my protection while your husband is away.
If Henry returns victorious, it won't be good for French processes. I wouldn't worry about it. He can't wipe his nose out of me. I can tell you that no future king wants a rule here for a younger brother.
If Henry dies on this mission of yours, the world will kill right. If Henry dies, I'll keep my title. The people will admire me for my dedication to his memory. Childless or not, I'll be his widow. She once told me it was the best thing a woman could hope to be. Tell me, cousin, who will you be? Thank you. A fool will never go with child. Maybe it's a false alarm, maybe. Or maybe rejects magic worked.
It makes me proud.
So I've had solar for about 2 years now. I'm very happy with it. My neighbors pay an average of about
Every man talk a big game till they get a taste of it. I don't tell them look and wash their clothes, kiss their lips, wipe their nose. You taste the sugar, you lose your teeth. Ain't no man alive can handle me. I'm too much woman for one small bed. Too much thinking in this big old head. Too much people that pride to see. Ain't no man alive can handle me. Yeah. I want a snack, not a meal, baby.
That's so great.
Ain't no man alive can handle me. I'm fire dressed in melody. I shine too bright, I cut too deep. They talk that love, but they don't keep. I ain't no prophet, so who don't? Now, baby, they want the meal, not the woman that cooked it. They like it thin, they like it sweet, but I serve heat beneath the sheet. You taste the sugar, you'll fall to your knee. Ain't no man alive can handle me. Ain't no man alive can handle me. I shake the walls, I break the beat. They start to break when I turn up the heat. Ain't no man alive can handle me.
That's so good. Okay, we're gonna find out if this chick is coming or going.
They say I'm too much woman for one small bed. Too much thinking in this big old head. Too much people that pride to see. Ain't no man alive can handle me.
That's so great.
important to know what subjects we haven't discussed. We completely ignore the fact that this is a society divided by fear, hatred, and violence. And until we talk about just what this society really is, then I don't know how we're going to change it. For example, we haven't discussed the rot that destroys our cities. We have all the resources we need to check it, and we don't use them. And we haven't discussed why not. We haven't discussed race in this country. We haven't discussed, in short, we haven't discussed any of the sicknesses that may yet send this country up in flames. And we better do it. We better get it out in the open and confront it before it's too late. Years ago now, I've known John Kitover pretty much ever since I've been on Clubhouse.
My friend is here. My friend, I think your chances of coming to Chicago are rapidly dwindling because we have raised no more money since Roger Mayhem helped us raise the pot. But we're in a good spot. We have enough signatures, so your work, would be appreciated. But
I figured as much, and that's why I didn't book any tickets. But I figured if you really needed my help, you would have called me. You can always call me at any time if you ever need me. I know that you know this. And I'm glad to hear your campaign is going well. And I'm sorry we won't get to hang out in October. But yeah, I didn't make any plans to come to Chicago. But I'm very disappointed to hear that you were kicked from the debate room. Can you tell me why you were kicked?
No reason. I didn't even say anything. I was in the audience. They kicked me from the audience.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some people maybe don't like me there because they think I'm recording, but it's all water under the bridge. I mean,
I know, but you're my honored guest, and so you should always, in my rooms, you should receive VIP treatment.
It doesn't matter to me, because I'm recording so much on YouTube now. I know you probably don't even want to see it or hear it because it's a waste of time. But to me, reading books in the book club on YouTube, and on Clubhouse at the same time, is the best way for me to be productive here on this app. These debate rooms, they're rapidly going nowhere. And in fact, the war is just about fucking over. The hostages are about to be released. I don't know if the war will be over. I feel like if they actually get all the hostages back, there will be probably a breakdown because you are dealing with a bunch of extremely irrational people. Maybe not more so on one side than the other, but you can't expect. See, war is the constant, and this is just like a repositioning of pieces, or you give up your dead soldiers so you can bury them, and then you go back to fighting. Like, these things do come to it's like a zit, it's irritated, and finally there's this breakthrough burst of pus, and I think we have yet to see this zit actually pop, but it's gonna pop. The Gazans and the Hamas militants that are still running that enclave, like, they are not going away, and they will be destroyed. They can drive around in their pickup trucks and claim victory and post videos, but as soon as those hostages are returned, hellfire rockets from the sky is going to rain down upon those Jeep convoys and take out all those masked men with their M16s and rocket launchers. They're going to Allah rapidly. They have no idea yet, though, what's coming. Like, they think that they're actually going to be able to negotiate and act as if they're legitimate leaders. It's coming. Oh, we got Nate Higgers here. He goes by Nick Fuentes in the Uncle Steve After Party Room. Ask the Theist. So I'm about to meet up with this really beautiful musician. I don't know if she's going to ghost me or not go out with me, but she was performing at the bar I was at last night. We exchanged numbers, and she wants to do brunch. She's really beautiful.
Nice. That sounds.
Yeah, she's like, you got to
go back to work, but I'll talk to you soon. I hope you have a good day.
Good job.
It's Sunday.
Shavuot Tov. Talk to you soon. Bye. Fatima. Oh, hey, Fatima.
I'm disappointed.
How are you, Fatima? Do you want to come on my podcast real quick? Tell us how horrible it is living in Denmark or Holland or wherever you live, Fatima. creating little clips here for YouTube, by the way.
What happens if my dad starts Tai Chi tomorrow?
How old is your father?
Every man talk a big game till they get a taste of it. I done fed them love and wash their clothes, kiss their lips, wipe their nose. You taste the sugar, you lose your teeth. Ain't no man alive can handle me. They say I'm too much woman for one small bed, too much thinking in this big old head, too much people and pride to see. Ain't no man alive can handle me. Yeah. I want a snack, not a meal, baby. Ain't no man alive can handle me. I'm fire, breast, and melody. I shine too bright, I cut too deep. They talk that love, but they don't keep. I ain't no dog for some food alone. I work this land till it turn my own. I gave my heart to my knees one week. They love my laugh, but now I not grief. Now, baby, they want the meal, not the woman that cooked it. They like it thin, they like it sweet, but I serve heat beneath the sheet. You taste the sugar, you follow your meat. Ain't no man alive can handle me. Ain't no man alive can handle me. I shake the walls, I break the beat. They start to pray when I turn.
Okay, I'm gonna play that Beijing. Let's take a little break here.
the personal, yet keep to the impersonal. Accept the world as it is. If you accept the world, the Tao will be luminous inside you, and you will return to your primal self. The world is formed from the void, like utensils from a block of wood. The master knows the utensils, yet keeps to the block. Thus she can use all things. 29. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There's a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are, without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. 30. Whoever relies on the Tao in governing men doesn't try to force issues or defeat enemies by force of arms. For every force, counterforce. Violence, even well-intentioned, always rebounds upon oneself. The master does his job and then stops. He understands that the universe is forever out of control, and that trying to dominate events goes against the current of the Tao. Because he believes in himself, he doesn't try to convince others. Because he is content with himself, he doesn't need others' approval. Because he accepts himself, the whole world accepts him. 31. Weapons are the tools of violence. All decent men detest them. Weapons are the tools of fear. A decent man will avoid them, except in the direst necessity, and if compelled, will use them only with the utmost restraint. Peace is his highest value. If the peace has been shattered, how can he be content? His enemies are not demons, but human beings like himself. He doesn't wish them personal harm, nor does he rejoice in victory. How could he rejoice in victory and delight in the slaughter of men? He enters a battle gravely, with sorrow, and with great compassion,
as if he were attending a funeral. 32. The Tao can't be perceived. Smaller than an electron, it contains uncountable galaxies. If powerful men and women could remain centered in the Tao, all things would be in harmony. The world would become a paradise. All people would be at peace, and the law would be written in their hearts. When you have names and forms, know that they are provisional. When you have institutions, know where their functions should end. Knowing when to stop, you can avoid any danger. All things end in the Tao, as rivers flow into the sea. 33. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others, strength. Mastering yourself is true power. If you realize that you have enough, you are truly rich. If you stay in the center and embrace death with your whole heart, you will endure forever. 34. The great Tao flows everywhere. All things are born from it, yet it doesn't create them. It pours itself into its work, yet it makes no claim. It nourishes infinite worlds, yet it doesn't hold on to them. Since it is merged with all things and hidden in their hearts, it can be called humble. Since all things vanish into it, and it alone endures, it can be called great. It isn't aware of its greatness, thus it is truly great. 35. She who is centered in the Tao can go where she wishes without danger. She perceives the universal harmony, even amid great pain, because she has found peace in her heart. Music or the smell of good cooking may make people stop and enjoy, but words that point to the Tao seem monotonous and without flavor. When you look for it, there's nothing to see. When you listen for it, there's nothing to hear. When you use it, it is inexhaustible. 36. If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. This is the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show the results. 37. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple, everyday lives, in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. 38. The master doesn't try to be powerful. Thus, he is truly powerful. The ordinary man keeps reaching for power. Thus, he never has enough. The master does nothing, yet he leaves nothing undone. The ordinary man is always doing things, yet many more are left to be done. The kind man does something, yet something remains undone. The just man does something, and leaves many things to be done. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. When the Tao is lost, there is goodness. When goodness is lost, there is morality. When morality is lost, there is ritual. Ritual is the husk of true faith, the beginning of chaos. Therefore, the master concerns himself with the depths and not the surface, with the fruit and not the flower. He has no will of his own. He dwells in reality and lets all illusions go. 39. In harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious. The earth is solid and full. All creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. When man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes healthy, the earth becomes depleted, the equilibrium crumbles, creatures become extinct. The master views the parts with compassion because he understands the whole. His constant practice is humility. He doesn't glitter like a jewel, but lets himself be shaped by the Tao, as rugged and common as a stone. 40. Return is the movement of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. 41. When a superior man hears of the Tao, he immediately begins to embody it. When an average man hears of the Tao, he half believes it, half doubts it. When a foolish man hears of the Tao, he laughs out loud. If he didn't laugh, it wouldn't be the Tao. Thus it is said, the path into the light seems dark. The path forward seems to go back. The direct path seems long. True power seems weak. True purity seems tarnished. True steadfastness seems changeable. True clarity seems obscure. The greatest art seems unsophisticated. The greatest love seems indifferent. The greatest wisdom seems childish. The Tao is nowhere to be found, yet it nourishes and completes all things. 42. The Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two. Two gives birth to three. Three gives birth to all things. All things have their backs to the female and stand facing the male. When male and female combine, all things achieve harmony. Ordinary men hate solitude, but the man makes use of it, embracing his aloneness, realizing he is one with the whole universe. 43. The gentlest thing in the world overcomes the hardest thing in the world. This is the Tao thing. Scanning to John, go to John for Congress. No substance enters where there is no space. This shows the value of non-action. Teaching without words, performing without actions. That is the master's way. 44. Fame or integrity? Which is more important? Money or happiness? Which is more valuable? Success or failure? Which is more destructive? If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. 45. True perfection seems imperfect, yet it is perfectly itself. True fullness seems empty, yet it is fully present. True straightness seems crooked. True wisdom seems foolish. True art seems artless. The master allows things to happen. She shows things as they come. She steps out of the way and lets the Tao speak for itself. 46.
Poetry to defeat during the hood.
When a country is in harmony with the Tao, the factories make trucks and tractors. When a country goes counter to the Tao, warheads are stockpiled outside the cities. There is no greater illusion than fear, no greater wrong than preparing to defend yourself, no greater misfortune than having an enemy. Whoever can see through all fear will always be safe. 47. Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world.
Closing thought at the time.
Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. The more you know, the less you understand. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. 48. In the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Less and less do you need to force things, until finally you arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. True mastery can be gained by letting things go their own way. It can't be gained by interfering. 49. The master has no mind of her own. She works with the mind of the people. She is good to people who are good. She's also good to people who aren't good. This is true goodness. She trusts people who are trustworthy. She also trusts people who aren't trustworthy. This is true trust.
True trust.
The master's mind is like space. People don't understand her. They look to her and wait. She treats them like her own children. 50. The master gives himself up to whatever the moment brings.
to die, and he has nothing left to hold on to. No illusions in his mind, no resistances in his body. He doesn't think about his actions. They flow from the core of his being. He holds nothing back from life. Therefore, he is ready for death, as a man is ready for sleep after a good day's work. 51. Every being in the universe is an expression of the Tao. It springs into existence, unconscious, perfect, free, takes on a physical body, lets circumstances complete it. That is why every being spontaneously honors the Tao. The Tao gives birth to all beings, nourishes them, maintains them, cares for them, comforts them, protects them, takes them back to itself, creating without possessing, acting without expecting, guiding without interfering. That is why love of the Tao is in the very nature of things. 52. In the beginning was the Tao. All things issue from it. All things return to it. To find the origin, trace back the manifestations. When you recognize the children and find the mother, you will be free of sorrow. If you close your mind in judgments and traffic with desires, your heart will be troubled. If you keep your mind from judging and aren't led by the senses, your heart will find peace. Seeing into darkness is clarity. Knowing how to yield is strength. Use your own light and return to the source of light. This is called practicing eternity. 53. The great way is easy, yet people prefer the side paths. Be aware when things are out of balance. Stay centered within the Tao. When rich speculators prosper, while farmers lose their land, when government officials spend money on weapons instead of cures, when the upper class is extravagant and irresponsible, while the poor have nowhere to turn, all this is robbery and chaos. It is not in keeping with the Tao. 54. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life, and you will become genuine. Let Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing. This is true. By looking inside myself. 55. He who is in harmony with the Tao is like a newborn child. Its bones are soft, its muscles are weak, but its grip is powerful. It doesn't know about the union of male and female. Yet its penis can stand erect. So intense is its vital power. It can scream its head off all day, yet it never becomes hoarse. So complete is its harmony. The Master's power is like this. He lets all things come and go effortlessly, without desire. He never expects results. Thus, he is never disappointed. He is never disappointed. Thus, his spirit never grows old. 56. Those who know don't talk. Those who talk don't know. Close your mouth. Block off your senses. Blunt your sharpness. Untie your knots.